This is Fedora 26 with the Xfce desktop. This is the lightest weight Fedora spin available that is really full-featured. LXQt and LXDE are slightly lighter, but they lack a number of features that are available in Xfce. As far as the memory used with the Xfce desktop on first boot, desktop only, I use 315 megabytes. With LXQt, for an example, I used 260 megabytes. It's less, but not much less. One of the things you'll get in Xfce that you won't get in LXQt or LXDE by default is window snaps. And unlike Nautilus and GNOME 3, the file manager also observes window snaps. But this is not the way it came by default. It came with one top panel and a sort of dock on the bottom panel. And that's default for the Fedora version of Xfce. But when you load it, you also have the option of a single blank panel. So I chose that, added a second panel, and configured the panels the way I wanted them. So I installed the whisker menu and turned it around the way I like it, with the categories on the left. It came with the categories on the right. Just to briefly go down the list here, under Accessories, you have the Application Finder, Catfish File Search, Clipman, Disks, Florence Virtual Keyboard, Calculator, LeafPad, Orage Global Time, Passwords and Keys, Screenshot, Xarchiver, and XFburn. Under Administration, you have Firewall, Keyboard, Language, Print Settings, Users and Groups, and the Yum Extender DNF, which is a software package manager. Under Development, you have Geany, which is an advanced text editor which can be used in programming. Under Documentation, you have About Xfce and Fedora Release Notes. Under Graphics, you have Document Viewer and Ristretto Image Viewer. Of course, I would want to add GIMP, but it doesn't come by default. Under Internet, you have Claws Mail, Firefox, Pigeon, Internet Messenger Transmission. Under Multimedia, you have Asunder CD Ripper, the Lash Panel, Parole Media Player, Praha, Pulse Audio Volume Control, Simple Screen Recorder, which I added, and VLC Media Player, which I added. And then there is XFburn again. By the way, to add Simple Screen Recorder and VLC Media Player, I first had to add the RPM Fusion repositories. And previous videos have shown how to do that. Under Office, it has only Abbey Word and GNumeric, the lightweight word processor, and Spreadsheet. I would certainly want to install LibreOffice. It has the Clause Mail Dictionary, Document Viewer, also Orage Calendar and Orage Global Time. Under Settings, it has quite a few. I've extended this whisker menu as far as I can extend it, and I still have to scroll down. But there's Accessibility, Appearance, Bluetooth, Desktop Display, File Manager, Keyboard, MIME, Type Editor, Mouse and Touchpad, Network Connections, Notifications, Orage Preferences, Panel, Customize the Panel, Power Manager, Referred Applications, Removable Drive and Media. Rigel Preferences, Screensaver, Session and Startup, Settings Editor, Settings Manager, Window Manager Tweaks, Workspaces, Xfce Panel Switch, and the Xf Dashboard settings. Now, going to the Xfce Panel Switch for a minute. It has the current configuration, and I want to save that. Save configuration. It says it as a backup dated today. So this is my configuration. Now you have a choice of GNOME 2, which is one panel at the top, and you have applications and places, and then you have a symbol for settings over here. It also comes with a couple of launchers, web browser, which is Firefox, and the mail reader, which in this case is Claus Mail. And over here you have the Bluetooth, the network manager. This shows that Simple Screen Recorder is running. The power manager, the date and time. But down here you have show desktops, and the window buttons for open tasks, and you have the workspace switcher at the right. That's GNOME 2. Now under Redmond, this would be a subtle reference to that unmentionable operating system. You have a so-called Start menu down here, which is just a simple cascading menu. And you have the window buttons here, and you have basically the system tray items over on the right. That's the only panel. Of course, with all these, you can modify them and add panels. And then with Xfce 412, this is basically the default arrangement which came with Fedora 26, except of course I've changed the appearance. I'm using Arc Dark, and it came with the Fedora default appearance, which was a lighter colored panel. But here you have the applications menu up on top, that simple menu. You have the window buttons with open tasks, you have the workspace switcher, and then you have the system tray items over here. And on the bottom you have a little dock with show desktop, the terminal emulator, file manager, web browser, application finder, and file manager. Now I'm going to go back to my backup, which was my arrangement, and reinstall that. If you don't back up your own arrangement, you're going to lose it. So let's go back here. This is the Xf dashboard settings. Before you use that, it might pay to look at just what the Xf dashboard is. It's a GNOME shell type of interface. But it's rather grotesque when it has only one large icon in the middle. Presumably you'd get some kind of an array if you had more than one item in each category. And you have a workspace switcher over here at the right, similar to what you have in GNOME 3. Now if you want to keep going back to the dashboard, Xfce, I think what you have to do is right-click here and say Add to Panel. Add it to the top panel. And then, if you wish, move it over to the left. So if you want to use the dashboard instead of clicking on the whisker menu or whatever other menu you have here, click on the dashboard and you get that. Got out of it by pressing Escape. So now if you go down here to Dashboard Settings again, reset search view when resumed, switch to view when resumed, etc. Enable workaround for minimized windows. Show menu for all installed applications. Let's see what that does. Doesn't seem to do anything. All applications. Escape. Anyway, you can play with that if you want. I don't particularly like GNOME shell, and so I don't particularly want to emulate it. But you have the option if you want to. So those are the settings, and then under System, you have Bulk Rename, Color, Profile Viewer, Fedora, Release Notes, Gparted, Problem Reporting, SE Linux Troubleshooter, Task Manager, Thunar File Manager, Xfce Terminal, and the Xf Dashboard again. Now I'm going to install LibreOffice using the Yum extender, DNF version. I'm going to go here to Available. Wait for it to list the available packages. Now I'm going to click on the little magnifying glass. Wait for it to finish. All right, now I'm going to click on the magnifying glass and search for LibreOffice. Press Enter, and there it is, 5.3.5.2. Click on the little gears. Click on OK. Enter my password. Click on OK. Now a little progress bar opens up. Okay, so LibreOffice is installed. Now when I go to Office, there's LibreOffice. Base, Calc, Draw, Impress, Writer. So let me open the LibreOffice Writer. Notice the theming more or less matches what I have set the ArcDark theming. This has a problem down here when some of these items are practically illegible. So help about, and as I expected, this is version 5.3.5.2, more recent than any other version I've found within the last few weeks among the various distributions. Now, as always, with Xfce and theming, there's just a huge variety of options. As I said, I'm using ArcDark. There's ArcDarker, ArcDarker Solid, ArcDark Solid, ArcSolid, Bluebird, ClearLux, ClearLux Classic, Crux, Glider, Glossy, Graybirds, High Contrast, Industrial Mist, Marina Aquaish, Marina Cappuccino, sounds delicious, Marina Yelm, Marina Fancy Candy, Marina Galouche, Marina Love Gray, Marina Neo Graphite, Marina Verde Olivo, Raleigh Simple Thin Ice, Xfce, Xfce 4.0, Xfce 4.2, Xfce 4.4, Xfce 4.6, Xfce B5, Xfce Basic, Xfce Cadmium, Xfce Curve, Xfce Dawn, Xfce Dusk, Xfce Flat, Xfce KDE2, Xfce Colors with a K, Xfce Light, Xfce Orange, Xfce Redmond XP, Xfce Salt Lake, Xfce Smooth, Xfce Stellar, and Xfce Winter. I'm going back to ArcDark. If you go over here to Window Manager, again I've chosen ArcDark, but you have ArcDarker, ArcDarker Solid. Now this only affects the window borders, so to really see the effects of some of these, you'd have to use different themes. Notice that the title is changing. That's B5. B6. You have a huge variety here also. I'm not going to go through all these. I used ArcDark. Again, I'll go back to that. As far as backgrounds, right-click on the desktop and go to Desktop Settings. There's a few backgrounds, but there's not really much of a choice. You can add more backgrounds from Google Images, for instance. So that's Fedora 26 Xfce eSpin. Like all Fedora products, it's about the most up-to-date system you can get, short of perhaps Arch Linux, and I think it's even more up-to-date in many cases than some of the Arch-based distributions like the Manjaro, for instance. Since I installed this on my remote drive, I've had 2 major updates already. This is XRAM Tech. Thanks for watching.